I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in quite a while, and I miss being able to just talk with you guys. So I figured I would try to make a little bit of like a blank slate here and essentially just talk about what's been going on with me lately, or, how my life has been going, I suppose. I feel like everything kind of changed when I initially went to Florida back in October, and I got out of a workout routine, I got out of my editing routine that I had, and then shortly after in February, I unexpectedly moved. And for myself, I thrive off of routines. I thrive off of, knowing what's going to be happening and doing that thing. So not being in these routines was, something that made it so I wasn't doing my videos more often, honestly. I had been talking about moving with my roommate at the time for quite a while. Her and her boyfriend wanted to move in together, and they wanted to stay in the house that we were all living in. So it was sort of up to me to be the one to move, but I also have P, and I wanted to make sure that I was moving into the right place, the place that ideally would be for me. And I just felt like that place wasn't showing up until finally it did, and they wanted me to move within 4 days. And it was just a lot to consider, a lot to do, but I wanted to keep the place as an option, so I decided to just go for it, and I was going to move within that 4 days, and it was a lot to handle, but I'm really grateful that I did it. When I did start finally adjusting to the place that I'm in now, though, I felt like it was so much harder to get back into the routine that I was previously in. I had a very specific routine when I was living at my old house. I would work out in the morning, I would read a book for about an hour, I would have, play with P outside in our backyard, and then I would start working, I would have lunch, so on and so forth. Like it was a very specific routine, and things also changed when I moved into this house, and that's mostly because I didn't have a big backyard that P can just hang out in. I have a much smaller house, and also just I got lazy. I didn't feel like working out anymore. I didn't feel like doing the things that I was doing as much, and it's just gotten tougher and tougher. So over time, I've had to adjust those routines. I started trying to get back into working out again and things like that, but it's not perfect, and honestly, the adjustment was taking a long time, which is why it felt like I wasn't making videos either. I would record them, but I wouldn't find time to edit them, and I just felt like I was tired all the time. Not to mention, I then had something going on almost every single weekend, whether it was a vacation or someone's wedding or whatever it might be. It was always something that was happening that made me feel like I didn't have time for myself. So when I would come home, or when I would have a few hours to myself even, I would literally just sit on the couch and either watch a YouTube video that I was looking forward to, or I would read a book. And I really enjoyed that time, and I appreciate you guys for letting me have that time because I feel like I really needed it. But it felt like there was so much more that I could be doing, and in the back of my head, I knew that I used to be so much more productive. So I've been really learning to be more forgiving to myself about those things, but also to push myself and like find that happy medium of like, okay, you need to forgive yourself and not be so hard. You can't always be 100% productive. I don't think that's very healthy. But also, you can't just like sit on the couch and be like, well, I'm not feeling well, because then you'll never get anything done. So I've been really trying to find that happy medium and trying to continue to push myself to be better. There have been some good things during this time. One of those things that really comes to mind is that in February, I was able to quit dog sitting and any other side jobs that I was doing aside from work. And that was a really exciting time for me because that was a goal that I wanted to accomplish within 2022, and I accomplished it month 2 of 2022, which I was not expecting. There was a long dog sitting gig for about 2 weeks that really put me over that threshold. I didn't quite make the like exact number that I wanted to, but I was so close to it that I was like, honestly, it's not worth my time anymore. And again, it's one of those things where my priorities really did change because I don't have the same setup that I had before. I don't have a roommate who can watch over P or take him on walks or give him love. I don't have a big backyard anymore. So these things changed, and that meant that I needed to change the way that I was doing things. And also I was doing better at work at my, I'm a full-time job. And I felt like also there was this trade-off that I was looking forward to, where essentially between work and like my full-time job and the side gigs, if I could spend more time at work, I would end up doing better. And with that, my commission gets better. So if I'm not so tired, then I can do those things. So I was really excited to be able to quit the side jobs. I felt like I also had this renewed sense of energy, but I also felt like I wanted to take back time for myself that I didn't feel like I previously had, simply because of the side jobs and basically being on everyone else's schedule. So I'm grateful for that, but I think that definitely led into me essentially taking a I don't know how many month break by accident. Something else that happened during this time was that in July of this year, I did end up with COVID. I went to a bar with a couple of friends. 2 of us ended up getting COVID and 2 of us did not. And the other friend who did get it was completely asymptomatic. So she wouldn't have even known if I didn't have symptoms. When I got COVID, I didn't even know that I had it at first. I just felt a weird tickle in my throat, but it ended up escalating extremely quickly and I ended up having to go to the ER. And it was definitely scary. I felt like I knew I was going to be fine, but I also was always scared of getting COVID because I have asthma and I know it is not good on your lungs. I already don't have great lungs. So it was definitely scary to feel like I couldn't breathe and to feel like I had to go to the ER, but I also knew that I was going to be fine throughout that whole process. And I also knew that other people have it way worse than I do. So I was grateful that I felt okay and that I was doing okay. I was just, again, a little bit nervous. It was a crazy 5 days. I couldn't even think straight. I couldn't get up. I couldn't move at all. Literally people had to come and help me take care of pee because I couldn't do it. And I just never felt more debilitated in my life. I felt like, I just couldn't do anything. And again, I think all of these setbacks take me out of a routine, which then I have to work so hard to get back into, which sucks, but also it's not like I should be able to go a little faster in getting that routine. And I think I'm feeling sorry for myself a little bit too much. So that is something else that did happen though. And it was not fun. So I do not recommend. And if any of you guys have gotten COVID, I am so sorry. I have been finding more of that routine for myself that I was talking about. I started working out more often, which is really great. Generally speaking, my schedule tends to be what you guys are seeing. I wake up, I try to read a book. I either work out in the mornings or during my lunchtime, take pee on a walk, work, have lunch, work some more, and then I usually go out to take pee on some kind of walk, go to a park, meet up with a friend, something that gets us outside of the house that's not just around the neighborhood. I just feel like it's really nice to leave the neighborhood a little bit, even if I just go a couple blocks away, just to see something different. If I'm getting bored, I'm sure P is getting bored. So that's usually what the schedule is looking like, but I also want to add more time in for reading and for video editing and all of those things, some other hobbies that I have. So I'm excited to continue pushing myself to find more of that routine. I do also have some new ideas for videos, like true crime videos, and then just my Saturday videos. And I'm really excited to share them with you guys. I'm really hoping that you guys like this new type of content because, I don't know, I have this idea for how these things are going to come out in my head. And I hope that I can execute them the way that I want to, but I guess we will see. I hope a lot of this makes sense. I feel like when it's your life that you're living, it feels like something's planned every single day, or there's a lot of things happening over the weekends, and so it gets kind of overwhelming living the day to day. But kind of taking a step back and looking at the last 6 months, it feels like, again, I've been a little easy on myself and I could push myself a little bit harder. I know in those moments, though, I can't feel what I was feeling then. So it's good to reflect and see where else I can change, see where else I can, make improvements to my life to keep myself going forward. So I'm really excited about that and also grateful for the time because although I wish that, I could have been a little bit more productive during that time, I also realize how much I have been enjoying spending time with myself or, reading, having coffee in the mornings. Those are the things that I've started to look forward to. And I feel like even just a year ago, I would get really anxious if I didn't have a plan for the whole weekend or if I didn't have somebody to hang out with. And I used to be, really upset by that. And I'm grateful that no longer does it feel that way. And I really encourage you guys to try it out. Think about what the last 6 to 8 months has looked like and how you've been feeling. Are there things that maybe you would like to improve, or are there things that you're excited about or grateful for that you did do for yourself? I wish that I would push myself a little bit more on my videos, but also I'm grateful that I spent time with myself and got back into reading and have been enjoying that. So there's always pluses and minuses and there's always places where we can improve, but we also have to celebrate our wins. I'm grateful for you guys sticking along with me during this time. I, have seen you guys' comments even when I wasn't posting, and I really appreciate you guys doing that. So it means a lot to me. I'm excited to talk with you guys more often and just chat through what the last few months have looked like, and continue talking about what our future weeks will look like. So thank you guys so much. I'm excited to show you guys these new videos too. Definitely let me know what you guys think of them, and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.